you. I appreciate that. He, I'll share 2 more seconds. He, just to go into like the extremity of where I was at, I was homeless. I was on my own, shoved my family away, was in deep depression, suicidal thoughts every day. I was dealing some not good things in Reading, and just, I think I was still on probation when I came to faith, and it was just through the simple work of somebody sharing, the good news of Jesus with me. It was crazy. I went from where I was to the next week I'd been taken in by a group of guys and given a home. And
you're late.
Thank you, Pastor. Thank you so much. And Johanny, you're gonna read the presentation?
Yes, absolutely. First, I want to share how I came across Miss Giddens. So when I get a chance, I go on Facebook, and one of the things that I love to do, I just love highlighting, celebrating our community, members of our community. For way too many years, Reading always gets a bad reputation, right? And we have so many talents, we have so many treasures, we have so many solutions within our community to a lot of our problems. So Ashley, I came across her book on Facebook. She was announcing that she wrote a book. And I said, I would like to purchase a book. And when I met her, I saw she also works for the city of Reading. She's a product of Reading. She works for the city of Reading. So I was overjoyed and thrilled. I'm like, goodness, these are our local heroes. These are the talents and the treasures that we often, we kind of overlook a little bit, right? And that's because we don't know. So we got to start looking in our backyard, because what we need is right here. So without further ado, Ashley Giddens, I'm so proud that you have written your first book. I was proud to learn a little bit more about you and your accomplishments. So without further ado, I get to read out this commendation to you, Ashley.
Yeah.
This evening, the City of Reading City Council commends Ashley Giddens for her many accomplishments. Whereas Ms. Giddens is a proud 2006 graduate of Reading High School, and whereas Ms. Giddens played in the Reading High School girls basketball team, where in the 3 years of playing varsity, scored over 1,000 points. She attended college and played basketball at the collegiate level, as well as playing professionally while obtaining her master's degree in sports management. And whereas Ms. Giddens assisted in coaching the Reading High girls program and created an organization called Proud Alum Night, which provides scholarships to students in need and supports female athletes who are entering college. She also runs Queens of the Castle, which is a basketball camp offered during summer months. And whereas Ms. Giddens has many passions, among them are health and proper nutrition, which was her drive to start a business she named Prep It. She, through her business, creates healthy meals for individuals. Now, therefore, the Council of the City of Reading commends as follows. It is with great dignity and honor that the Council of the City of Reading presents this commendation to Ashley Giddens. City Council recognizes Ashley's commitment to her education and in serving her community through sports, healthy living, and programs that assist her community. And this is what Ashley Giddens' book looks like. Please make a purchase, and I would like Ashley to say a few words and to announce her book signing, please.
Well, thank you, Ms. Johanny. My book signing is scheduled for March this Sunday, actually, at Reading High School from 1 to 4 p.m. My basis of basically creating a book was just to say thank you to my village, who were very influential in my life, for my coaches and people who were my family-wise, and also basically to encourage the youth to be their best selves. They can basically overcome any obstacle that's coming their way. A lot of the young girls around here in the city of Reading are overshadowed by, the boys and stuff, whatever else. I wanted to basically, give them a pat on the back to have a forefront for them to see themselves the same way that the boys were seen. You guys can put in the same work, you guys can, accomplish the exact same thing as far as basically pushing on their education as well. So thank you so much. I appreciate you guys.
Wish you an abundance of success, Ashley. Keep doing what you're doing, and thank you for being a part of our community.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yep, thank you, Ashley, and thank you, Johanny, for moving her forward for the proclamation. And it's always good to acknowledge distinguished citizens in our community, sometimes overshadowed, right? Not as much as we think, though. That's for sure. They're
Right.
so let's move on.
Council President, can I just make one comment? I'm trying to be respectful, but with the pastor still with us, I just wanted to, I think we should take a special moment just to pray for the Iranian government and the people in Iran, or I'm sorry, Ukraine, that are just suffering so much for their attempt to be able to maintain a democracy in their country. And I think Ukraine, as many countries around the world, are suffering, but this one particularly. So I wondered, Pastor, if you could just say a special prayer.
Fun fact, I will never say no to praying.
Yeah.
It has been a sight to see for sure. So if you would join me again in just going before the Lord and asking his hand in these places. Father, I just want to come before you. You've heard so many of my prayers, our churches, and we just want to come before you again and again, just praying that you would intercede in the things going on over in the Ukraine and just in between all of these nations that are in some way a part of this battle going on, very tangibly and physically and also spiritually, Lord. God, I pray for softened hearts of all these leaders, of these soldiers, of these people, and that there would be an ability to see your movement in these places, Lord, that you would come and that you would create peace in the hearts of men, that you would cause change in their lives, Lord. Father, keep these men, these women, these children safe. God, as these people, some people are just seeking out the war and some people just want peace. God, let there be an abundance of peace amongst those, and especially those who call out on your name, Lord. Your word here says in the Bible, in your word, your promises that those who call out on your name will be comforted by your Holy Spirit, Lord. And God, we pray that you would do a great work there through all of the just craziness going on, so much frustration, so much anger going on between so many people, Lord. We pray again and again that there would be peace, God, and that you would make a way for that to happen, Lord. God, we take all of this and we put it into your hands and we ask that your will would be done, Lord. We pray this all in your precious and holy name. Amen.
Okay, thank you. We're gonna move on to public comment. I believe we have 5 speakers this evening. Linda, who's the first speaker, please? And are they present? Before you do
Yeah,
that,
we only have,
we only have 2?
correct.
Okay, I'm gonna ask Councilwoman Reed to please read our public comment guidelines, please.
Okay. Sure, okay. Thank you, Mr. President. To comment at a regular business meeting, citizens can register by calling or emailing the city clerk's office by noon the day of the regular meeting. Instructions to access the virtual meeting app or dial-in will be provided upon registration, and the council number is 610-655-6205 or email council@readingpa.gov. Public comment for regular meetings will also be accepted in writing by 4 p.m. the day of the meeting through an email to council@readingpa.gov. The message must be clearly marked as public comment. The comment received in writing will be read into the record at the regular meeting. Those wishing to provide in-person comment at a regular meeting must register no later than 4 p.m. the day of the meeting by calling or emailing. Procedure to register to comment by signing a registration sheet before the start of the regular meeting is suspended until the meetings are fully open with everyone gathering in council chambers. Public speaking rules adopted by council allow those speaking on agenda matters to speak for 5 minutes and 3 minutes for non-agenda matters. All remarks must be directed to council as a body and not to any individual council member or public, elected or appointed official in attendance. Any comment that is personally offensive or impertinent will not be read into the record. Comments on agenda matters, again, are limited to 5 minutes in length, and comments on non-agenda matters are limited to 3 minutes in length.
Okay, thank you, Donna. Linda, our first speaker this evening, and the topic, please.
It's Mike Ellerman, and he's speaking about the parking authority.
Great. Mike, welcome, sir. You have, I believe, up to 5 minutes. It's an agenda item, right, Linda? We do have parking
Correct.
authority on the agenda. Mike, good evening, sir. The floor is yours.
Mike, can you unmute your, oh, there you
I
go.
have it
Good.
now. No, I apologize. I didn't realize it was on mute. Good evening, and to all members of council, I thank you. Most of you know me. I'm the chairman of the Convention Center Authority, have been for far too long, and I appreciate the allocated time, and I will try to be brief. Our mission has always and always will be to bring people to downtown Reading. I believe that your help of the $3 million from the American Rescue Plan attests to your agreement with our mission. I had considerable financial concerns during the pandemic regarding the authority. Your help has gone a long way toward rectifying that situation. My sincere appreciation for your generous help. Our current attendance levels are still being adversely affected by the pandemic. However, we are experiencing excellent revenues due to both increased number of events and pricing levels. For the 7 months ended January 31st of both this year and 2020, which was pre-pandemic, attendance is down about 22,000 or 19%, while entertainment tax receipts for the city are up about $100,000 or 88%. I understand that efforts are underway for a clean and safe downtown. However, from an operations standpoint, one of my concerns involves downtown parking, primarily in the garages. Dissatisfaction is strong regarding the time it takes to exit the garages after our events, particularly during hockey events. On Saturday, February the 19th, we had about 3,800 attendees for hockey, and vehicles were still exiting more than 1 hour after the game ended. Garage parking rates do not seem to be competitive when compared to our competition in Allentown, Hershey, and Wilkes-Barre. Rate structure is unique. On Sunday, January the 30th of this year, we had an event in the arena, and those parking at the DoubleTree parking garage were charged $25 per vehicle. No attendance, no other events took place that day, either in our facilities or the DoubleTree. On top of which, attendance at the event was free. Yes, we received a written complaint from the show sponsor on what he felt were excessive charges. Several years ago, we made an expensive effort to attract the Berks County PIAA basketball tournament to the arena. Parking charges this year were $12 per vehicle. Event tickets for adults were $8 and $5 for children. Last year, we lost a Pennsylvania home and garden show due to excessive parking charges. More recently, we have experienced parking tickets in loading zone areas despite placards on the dashboards indicating our employees were delivering or picking up materials. In order to successfully attract people to downtown, we need to be competitive and work together. Next, I would like to turn the mic over, if it's okay with Ms. Kelleher, to Craig Poole from the DoubleTree, and then I think Mike Fiucci's on here also.
Yes, Mike is connected. Mr. Poole was connected, but he's since disconnected.
Oh, my apology. I can't tell. I'm sorry. Okay, well
That's
then.
okay.
So
To
I
Mike,
believe
Fucci,
Mike was
please.
one of our scheduled speakers as well, Linda Fucci?
Yes, he was.
Oh, okay.
Is.
Yes, he was.
The floor is yours, Mike.
Thank you, City Council, City Clerk, and Administration. I'll just introduce myself real quick. I'm Mike Fucci. I've been on the Convention Center Board since 2000. I'm also on the 275th Committee with Donna Reed and Marcia and Jeff. So we have an event coming up March 16th. I'll throw that plug in there for you, Donna. And I hope everybody gets to attend that event on March 16th. I won't take too much more of your time. I think our chairman, Mike Ehrlichman, sufficed everything about the problems we are having with parking. I will touch on two things that I'm going to follow up with. One thing I think we all can agree on, we're all Reading High basketball fans. And we had the Berks County Championships there 2 weeks ago. And we had tickets for $8 for adults, $5 for students. And 60% of our attendees were high school students, not just from Reading High, but from other schools in the county. And we charged these people, students, also $12 to park at a high school basketball game. Now, obviously you can say that that's excessive. And that's a nice way to put it because, we were all high school people one time. We all followed Reading High. And, I'm sure we all went to Hershey or Harrisburg over the years, and we never paid that much going to those games. So I just think that's excessive. Many of us follow Reading High. My son and I, we go to a lot of the games, and we never pay that kind of parking anywhere else we go. So I just want to say that. The second thing is we are having a lot of people complain, and I think it's hurting our attendance. We're getting a lot of complaints, especially from Royals fans, and it's hurting our attendance. So when it hurts our attendance, it's going to hurt the amusement tax we give back to the city, which pre-COVID was almost $500,000. We want to get that back, and it's going to be hard doing that with the rates that the parking authority is charging. And I will, ask for your help in trying to get this rectified so we can bring more people downtown, enjoy the events at the arena and at SPAC. And, we're going to have a lot of events coming up. John Ernesto wasn't allowed to make it tonight, but he's having some issues with Jazz Fest. And I know he's very concerned, and he's very much considering taking all his events over to the Sky Strike Cathedral. So I just want to let you people know that because he's very unhappy with that parking, and he doesn't seem to be getting any support or help from the parking authority. So with that, I will conclude my remarks. I appreciate your time. And like I said, hope to see everybody on March 16th at our event for the 275th kickoff. And have a good night.
Yeah, great. Mike and Mike, thank you. Ironically, we're going to be inviting the parking authority to one of our upcoming meetings, either next week or the following week. We are going to add this topic on there to discussion. I was on a conference call with Abe and two members of the authority board. You two guys were supposed to be, well, Mike and Mike, the other Mike, were supposed to be on that call. You were not. I'm going to speak to Frank tomorrow about rescheduling that call with both of you, Mike and the mayor and members, the director of the parking authority and a parking authority board member. I don't even think this can wait till our meeting with the parking authority. It needs to be discussed. I'm a little concerned why that relationship isn't already going on, but my job is to try to get in the middle of it and make sure we get, it's ironically, I was speaking to a council meeting member before tonight's meetings, and we were talking about this specific issue, that there's some of these event rates we've noticed have gone up drastically, and more revenue will cost us more downstream. It's not worth it. If this is the cost of additional revenue for the parking authority, I don't want it. I want all the other investments that we made in our community to be successful, and we'll scare people away forever with a $15, $20, $25 parking fee for a high school basketball game or even a concert. I mean, Jesus. I'll go see Led Zeppelin in Philly if I have to, you know, I'm not gonna pay $25 to park. Even though Philly's probably $25, but I mean, there's other local venues that can host these shows at reasonable cost. And one of the things we are voting on in 2 weeks is reeling in the meter times as well to 6 p.m. So we will be reaching out to you in the next day or two, Frank and I. And then I'm gonna make sure the council body has a chance to also directly discuss this with the authority when they're with us. Hopefully next week, I'm gonna try to get them scheduled. So we owe you some follow-up and we'll work on that. And council, I don't want to exclude anybody from discussion, but if anybody has a real brief comment relevant to what I said, that's great. Otherwise, you know, we'll have more information forthcoming. Marcia, something brief, go ahead.
Yeah, very brief. I think it's so critical. The mayor is the one who has the authority to appoint to the parking authority. He needs to be engaged in this and hear the same information. Since she isn't on tonight's meeting, it's critical that he and the individuals that he appointed to the parking authority, that we all get on the same page. This is just incredible. To endanger our main entertainment venues is just not acceptable.
Donna, something brief?
Yes, and I'll just back that up. Many years ago, I sat on parking during my hiatus from council. There was never a need to go to the degree that we're seeing right now, either in terms of hours of enforcement or the kinds of costs that are involved within the garages. The one thing I'd ask for clarification on from legal is what ability we as a council have to set parking rates in the garages. That's something that maybe next week that can be looked at, and I would respectfully request that from Fred and from Michael with your approval, Jeff.
What was that specific request? Sorry.
Request what kind of, if we do have, or what kind of ability we as a council have
Yeah,
to
we'll
set,
look at that. Yep.
set garage or event rates. I don't know that we do. I'm asking that I'd ask for a legal opinion on that.
Yeah, we'll look into that. Yep, before our meeting next week. Yep, I'll ask that Mike look into that as well. Okay. All right. Thank you, Mike and Mike. We'll be in close contact in the next week or two. Well, I'm going to talk to Frank tomorrow about getting a meeting scheduled right away. So we'll be regrouping shortly. And I apologize that you weren't invited to the last meeting. I was told you were, but I don't think that happened.
Thank you, Council President.
Yep. All right, guys, we're going to move on. The next item on our agenda is the approval. Oh, I think that's the next item, yeah. Approval of our agenda and minutes. It includes the minutes of our February 14th regular meeting and the February 14th, 22nd, and 23rd committee, the whole, and February 22nd nominations and appointments committee meeting summaries. It also concludes the following consent agenda legislation, meaning these items will be approved with the approval of the agenda. The first item is an award of contract for the Pagoda Wall and Stair Structural and Geotechnical Engineering Construction Administration, active inspections and bid assistance to Johnson, Merriman and Thompson, Inc. of Cockeysville, Maryland at the submitted price of $643,097. There is already $1 million for this project in the capital improvements budget. The next item is a resolution directing the city solicitor to execute and submit the forms approving the repository bids for 337 Spring Street, 217 Pear Street, and 633 South 17th and a half Street. The next resolution is authorizing the actuary evaluation for 2022-2023 from Conrad Siegel for the police, fire, and officers and employees pension funds. The next resolution we are not voting on this evening, that is Resolution D, but we will be, so that's not part of this vote. The next resolution is the authorizing of the filing of a formal application and business plan for a RCAP grant in the amount of $7.5 million on behalf of the Reading Baseball LP for the First Energy Stadium renovations project. The next resolution is also authorizing the engagement agreement between the City of Reading and Education Works, Inc. for the creation of the City of Reading Climate Corps. So all those items except D, of course, will be approved with the approval of our agenda in minutes. Is there any objection to the approval of those items at this time? All right, if not, they stand as approved. We are going to move on then to the next item on our report. And we're going to welcome the Honorable Interim Acting Managing Director, Mr. Frank Dembowski, with the administrative report. Good evening, Frank.
Good evening. Thank you, Council President. Good evening, everyone, and members of council and the viewing public. This evening, I will be providing a summary of the administrative report. Mayor Moran recently joined the Wyland Foundation's National Mayor's Water Conservation Challenge. The purpose of this challenge is to further Reading's commitment to high water quality and water conservation efforts. This organization is a nonprofit national community service program, and participation will renew our commitment to sustainability for the city for generations to come. So there'll be more details on the city website soon on how to take that pledge. And that pledge is, it's a commitment that you'll do something of actionable items to order to meet certain goals, but those details will be certainly on the website soon. In regards to the Citizen Service Center, if you had an opportunity to review the report, I provided some data in relations to constituent service calls for a week. So I have a chart, I won't go through that whole chart, but I have a chart in the report that breaks down all the different calls that took place in a 1 week's period. So just a quick couple highlights. There were a total of 340 calls. And I thought it was interesting, the largest amount of calls for one particular item, where there are 83 calls for sewer backup. So that tells me that these are really good reports for me. These reports are available through the public, through public stuff, but it helps me understand if there's some things we should be addressing or there's some red flags. Now that may be routine, I don't know, but just a kind of interesting thing to see. The 83 calls in 1 week on sewer backups, that's when there's some issues in the sewer department. The sanitary sewers has to come and possibly unclog a line. Potholes, 22 calls came in this week about potholes. And just another fun fact, 20 service requests, calls for recycling electronics. So individuals have electronics, probably an old TV, most likely, that they need to get recycled. And we pick these items up free of charge, but you have to schedule for that. So a couple fun facts there, but in future administrative reports, I'm going to be working on performance indicators, try to expand upon that. So you'll see more data in these types of reports, such as quality of life ticketing and things like that. So I just have to work a little bit on massaging this, how these parameters work and making sure they're meaningful to provide. But you'll see more of that in the report. The Finance Department's Accounting Division continues to train and assist staff with the transition to Tyler Munis, the city's new accounting program that went live on February 7th. As I think I mentioned 2 weeks ago, this is probably the largest conversion from one system to another. This is a great accounting program. You're going to hear a lot about it moving forward, how it really integrates all our programs into one system. And it's going to be really amazing, the stuff that we can generate in reporting from this system. So more to follow. In the administrative report that was provided for you previously, the Finance Department goes through a whole bunch of a list of what grants are in progress, what grants are closing. So I don't want to go through that whole list this evening, but it's in your report. Certainly, if there's questions, you can always reach out to Jamar Kelly, our finance director, or myself. But the Finance Department keeps us updated through this report on grants. I know there's been a lot of questions about status of grants. Also in this report, in the finance section, the department provides upcoming RFPs that will eventually come to council for your consideration. So you'll see a progress list of the status of these RFPs or RFQs that will be coming to council in the near future for your approval. The 9th and Marion Fire Station project site is progressing. The pouring of the footers will continue as the weather permits. As you know, the weather's going to be getting nicer sooner, hopefully soon, and construction will really take off. There's a really nice picture of the current site. Can't really show that over the screen here, but in your report, the chief provided a very nice picture that was from a few days ago, and it gives you the site location. The Human Relations Commission provided their most recent update from January 1st to February 18th. They've processed and received 82 rent and utility assistant applications. Out of those 82, actually 81 was for rental assistance, 1 was for utility assistance, 73 applicants were facing eviction. So that just gives us a snapshot of the current issue that continues to in our city of the issue of evictions. And we're doing everything we can on our end to provide that assistance through different funding sources. And as I finish up the report here, HR department, we've named an acting human resources director, Holly Golden. She is currently our compensation administrator. She was named acting human resources director on February 10th. She's been working for the city for 13 years and is well-versed in all aspects of HR. Also, the city's wellness committee met for the first time in 2020 on February 10th, and it will continue meeting every month to develop wellness-related activities for employees to enjoy. The Reading Public Library was selected as a recipient of Share the Plate Service Project at the First Unitarian Universalist Church of Berks County for the next 3 years. This project designates one plate collection to benefit a nonprofit, and the organization chose the Reading Public Library to be one of those designees. This past Saturday on February 26th, the Reading Police Department conducted civil service tests, so we'll hear more about how that went. And in Public Works, we're still working out the program specifics on the dumpster amended ordinance. So there'll be more data to be determined on how many dumpsters need the screening requirement and the process of how people apply for possible assistance to pay for that program. And lastly, the Public Works staff is nearing completion of tree trimming on South 4th Street from Franklin Street to Binghamton Street. So that's the highlights of the administrative report that was provided earlier. If open for any questions.
All right, thank you, Frank, for the report. I'm going to open it up to any comments or questions for the body. I see Donna has her hand up. We'll go with you first. Go ahead, Donna.
Very simple.
Go ahead.
Thank you, Frank, for this totally comprehensive report. I can't say enough how much I appreciate it. I can't speak for my fellow counselors, but it is one of the most detailed reports we have received in a long, long time. And I thank you for the work you've done in the past few weeks. We just can't say enough. I can't say enough to thank you for your hands-on approach, your ability to get the job done, your dedication to the long hours, and the fact that you get back to all of us, whether we're counselors or we're city residents or business people. Thank you, Frank. You're an inspiration.
Thank you.
All right, any additional comments, anyone? Johanny?
When I echo Councilwoman Reed's sentiments regarding Frank, I am thrilled and overjoyed. We're getting things done. I really appreciate the breakdown on the phone calls. And because of, and the fact that we're analyzing the data to figure out if there's a common thread, something that we need to address. So Frank, I am so happy to see you in that position. And you're doing a phenomenal job. So thank you so much.
And Marcia?
And this is the third councilwoman that wants to be able to applaud you for the work well done, Frank. And I've seen you grow through your tenure working with the city, and it's astounding the expertise, the institutional knowledge you bring to the job. You know what needs to be done. And so I feel comfortable when we have problems to solve. I think what's important is you need to let us know how we can help you too, to support these initiatives with the city. So there's strong teamwork going on moving forward. Thank you.
All right, any additional comments for Frank this evening? If not, thank you, Frank, for the report. We are going to move on to the report from the city auditor. We're going to welcome our city auditor, Maria Rodriguez. Maria, good evening.
Good evening, Council President. Thank you, and good evening, everyone. The first item on my report tonight is the real estate transfer tax. For the month of January of this year, the city received $702,030.86 for revenue transfer tax, which is the highest one for the month of January in the past 5 years. for this year, also the city budgeted 5.5 million due to the revenue that was received in 2021 when we overseeded the budget by about $4 million. Also in the month of January, there were 249 transactions. 33 of those transactions were not taxable and 216 were taxable transactions. And there was one property that was sold for $600,000 in the month of January, and out of that, the city collected $21,000, which is part of the total amount that was received in the month of January. The second line item is the cable franchise fee. I know they are so December 31st, 2021. In 2021, the city budgeted $825,000 revenue for cable franchise fee. However, the city only recorded $925.97 in actual revenue. And the year ended with a budget shortfall of $24,074.23. I put a graph together that is in the report that is showing how much revenue has been received for the last 5 years. And for the last 4 years, the city has budgeted more than we has been recording. And the last time that the city had a surplus was in 2017 when the city budgeted $875,000 and $913,806.59 was received. In 2021, we were short, like as I mentioned, by $24,074.03. The third line item is the user fee revenue. For the fiscal year 2021, the city budgeted $3 million for the user fees, which is the revenue collected for the EMS services that the city provides. However, $33,500 was added to this budget line item to cover the expense of the collections. As of December 31, 2021, the city had collected $3,287,855.40. And this revenue line item ended up with a surplus of $254,355.40. This is my report for tonight, and I'm open for any questions that you might have.
All right, thank you, Maria. Council, it's open for any questions anybody would have at this point. We'll go with Johanny first.
Thank you, Maria, for your thorough report. Regarding the cable franchise, how do we determine the amount to allocate each year? What do we base it on?
The city received 5% for any person that had cable. We received like a 5% collection from the cable franchise fee. And by looking the data from previous years, and I realized that like even in 2020, when the city opted to budget $875,000 and we recorded only $818,000, I remember that I said to lower the collection, the budget for 2021 to $825,000, because I knew by tracking the data that we wasn't gonna collect $875,000. So I recommend $825,000. And I think it was not too bad because we ended only with a shortfall, we had decreased of $24,774.03. I mean, we have been collecting less money, but all depends how many people, how many residents in the city are using the cable from Comcast. And I know now, like with all the TVs, any TV that you get, you have a lot of free stuff that you can see on YouTube and stuff like that, that most people, sometimes you don't need maybe cable anymore. There's all the venues that people has been searching for that you can get privacy information, or not everything, but you can get a lot of stuff now on YouTube and stuff like that.
Thank you, Maria.
All
You're
right,
welcome.
additional comments, Brianna?
Thank you. No, I just wanted to thank you for your awesome report.
All right,
Thank you.
Brianna. All right, additional comments, anybody?
Yeah, Jeff, I'm sorry, Wes.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, Maria, are we planning a meeting with the audit committee then to be able to start looking at these trends and such?
Yes, I will talk to Linda to see when we can schedule a meeting for that.
Good,
The
good.
first meeting, and also since, Herman already started working on the audit and stuff like that, so we can give an update. I mean, preliminary update on how they,
Right.
the other testing that they working on and stuff like that. So, and if you have anything that you would like me to cover or put it on the agenda, just let me know ahead of time,
Well, and I think I will defer to other council members too for things that they might want us to drill down on more. So that then can be brought back to report to the body.
Mhm. Yes, is any council members want me to include any items for discussion on the audit committee meeting, please just feel free to send me an email.
All right, any additional comments for the auditor? If not, thank you, Maria, for your report.
Thank you.
And we are going to move on to the next item on our agenda. That item is going to be, we don't have any reports from boards, authorities, and commissions tonight, so we're going to move on to ordinances for final passage. The first ordinance is Bill 106, 2021, amending the City Code Chapter 23, Part 1201, Downtown Revitalization Public-Private Partnership, introduced December 13th, tabled December 27th, January 10th, and 24th, February 14th, regular meetings. Is there a motion, please?
Move to table.
Is there a second?
Second.
All right, it's been properly moved and seconded to table. We don't normally discuss table motions, so we're going to just ask Linda for a roll call, please.
Motion was made by Counselor Goodman Henderson, seconded by Counselor Reed to table Bill number 106, 2021. Mr. Butler,
Yes.
Ms. Cepeda Freitas,
Yes.
Ms. Goodman Henderson,
Yes.
Ms. Reed,
Yes.
Ms. Tyson,
No.
Ms. Ventura,
Yes.
Mr. Waltman, President.
Yes.
6 yeas, 1 nay.
All right, our next item for voting this evening is Bill number 5-2022, amending the 2022 position ordinance as per the mayor to reflect a change to the title of the position of executive assistants in the mayor's office to special assistant and to reflect an increase in the base salary of the special assistant position from $53,000 to $63,652.50 per year. This was introduced at the December 27th regular meeting. It has subsequently been tabled at the January 10th, 24th, and February 14th regular meetings. Is there a motion, please?
So
Move to
moved.
table.
Second.
All right, it's been properly moved and seconded. I don't know in what order, but since it's a table motion, Linda, can we have a roll call, please?
Motion was made by Counselor Cepeda Freitas, seconded by Counselor Goodman Henderson to table Bill number 5, 2022. Ms. Cepeda Freitas,
Yes.
Ms. Goodman Henderson,
Yes.
Ms. Reed,
Yes.
Ms. Tyson,
No.
Ms. Ventura,
Yes.
Mr. Butler,
Yes.
Mr. Waltman, President.
Yes.
6 yeas, 1 nay.
All right, our next ordinance this evening is Bill number 13-2022. This is authorizing the transfer of $65,000 to the council budget from the general fund balance to cover expenses associated with the 275th anniversary for a 2-year period. Is there a motion, please?
So moved.
It's been properly moved and seconded. Any comments or discussion on this ordinance? I think it's been pretty well discussed. We voted on the other ordinance 2 weeks ago. This is just to move the money into the proper line item. All right, if there are no discussion points, Linda, can we have a roll call, please?
Motion was made by Counselor Reed, seconded by Counselor Cepeda Freitas to enact Bill number 13, 2022, which authorizes the transfer of $65,000 to the council budget to cover expenses associated with the 275th anniversary. Ms. Goodman Hendershitz,
Yes.
Ms. Reed,
Yes.
Ms. Tyson,
Yes.
Ms. Ventura,
Yes.
Mr. Butler,
Yes.
Ms. Cepeda Freitas,
Yes.
Mr. Waltman, President.
Yes.
7 yeas, no nays.
Okay, our next item for voting this evening regarding ordinances is Bill number 14-2022, authorizing the appropriation of $4 million for the construction of the new 9th and Marion Fire Station from Fund 43, City Facilities Construction Fund, as noted in the 2022 budget. Is there a motion, please?
So moved.
Second.
It's been properly moved and seconded. Are there any comments? Again, this along with the next ordinance is the bulk of the funding necessary for the new fire station. This money was previously set aside in a general fund enterprise fund, which is what we're voting on right now, specifically for these projects. If there are no other comments, Linda, can we have a roll call, please?
Motion was made by Counselor Cepeda Freitas, seconded by Counselor Goodman Hendershitz to enact Bill number 14-2022, which authorizes the appropriation of $4 million for the construction of the 9th and Marion Fire Station from the City Facilities Construction Fund. Ms. Reed,
Yes.
Ms. Tyson,
Yes.
Ms. Ventura,
Yes.
Mr. Butler,
Yes.
Ms. Cepeda Freitas,
Yes.
Ms. Reed,
All right, it's me.
I already voted.
It's Linda. You skipped me.
Ms. Goodman Hendershitz. Sorry about that.
That's okay. Yes.
Mr. Waltman, President.
Yes, and God bless the sneezer, whoever that was.
7 yeas, no nays.
Okay,
She said thank you.
okay, good.
God bless.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
Okay, so the next ordinance is, you're welcome, by the way. The next ordinance is Bill 15-2022, authorizing the allocation of $5 million from the ARPA funding for the 9th and Marion Fire Station. Is there a motion, please?
So moved.
Second.
All right, it's been properly moved and seconded. Are there any comments? All right, this is, this is complementing the previous ordinance. Together, they total 9 million. There's probably a little more money that needs to come. I can't remember if we've moved some already. Out of the ARPA funding, I think this is a really sound, appropriate use. It's a legacy use for the city. And it's directed right at public safety, which is so critical, not only for the citizens, but for the firefighters. So Linda, can we have a roll call, please?
Motion was made by Counselor Goodman Hendershitz, seconded by Counselor Cepeda Freitas to enact Bill number 15-2022, which authorizes the allocation of $5 million in ARPA funding for the 9th and Marion Fire Station. Ms. Tyson,
Yes.
Ms. Ventura,
Yes.
Mr. Butler,
I love it.
Yes.
Ms. Cepeda Freitas,
Yes.
Ms. Goodman Hendershitz,
Yes,
Ms. Reed,
you're on mute.
Yes, sorry about my mute button.
Mr. Waltman, President.
Yes, and we got 8 yays, just for the record.
I think we have a junior counselor in training. I
Yeah.
like it.
8 yays. I don't know how we did it, but we got 8 yays. That's never happened before, but one got snuck in, so play the tape. All right. Thank you. The
Maybe
next,
change the charter, Jeff.
yeah. The next ordinance is Bill number 16-2022, authorizing the city to agree to a right-of-way and temporary construction easement with Berks County for the County Spring Valley Road Bridge Replacement Project. Is there a motion, please?
So moves.
Second.
Okay, it's been properly moved and seconded. Are there any comments? Frank, I don't know if you want to give the public just kind of a brief update. I know Wes asked some questions during our last meeting, just add as much clarity as we can, as much as we know at this point, right?
Sure. I have to look up, I can look up the agenda memo that describes it very detailed on what it is. So I can do my best to work off of that. So I'm making sure that. I
Okay,
provide-
or Kyle, if Kyle wanted to make some reference, that'd be good.
Yeah, Kyle's on the attendees.
Yeah. Kyle, are you prepared to make a comment?
Yes, that's for, there's a small sliver of land that they need to access the bridge. It's right along the road there by that bridge on Spring Valley Road.
Yeah. Okay, good. All right, any other comments from council members? All right, great. So we're not real certain on the timeline of this project as far as completion timeline, but they're obviously going to try to do it as quick as possible, I'm assuming.
Oh, wait, maybe we should table it?
You can make that motion, Bree, but I don't see anybody making that motion at this point. Are you trying to make a motion?
Yeah, I think we should
All
table
right.
it.
There's a motion to table. Is there a second to that motion?
Why should table?
All right, so the table motion fails, Bree. Just so you know, so we're going to continue on with the existing ordinance as it stands to vote. Does anybody have additional comments on this ordinance? If not, Linda, can we have a roll call, please?
Motion was made by Councilor Tyson, seconded by Councilor Reed, to enact Bill number 16, 2022, which authorizes a right-of-way and temporary construction easement to the county for the Spring Valley Road Bridge Replacement Project. Ms. Ventura,
Yes.
Mr. Butler,
Yes.
Ms. Cepeda Freitas,
Yes.
Ms. Goodman Hintershitz,
Yes.
Ms. Reed,
Yes,
Ms. Tyson,
Yes,
Mr. Waltman, President.
Yes.
7 yeas, no nays.
Okay, the next ordinance on the table is Bill 17-2022, approving settlement agreement pertaining to the outstanding loans related to the bookbinder rebuilding at 148 North 4th Street. Is there a motion, please?
Move to table.
Second.
All right, it's been properly moved and seconded. This is a table motion. Again, we don't normally have discussion on table motion, so I'm going to ask Linda to take a roll call, please.
Motion was made by Councilor Goodman Hintershitz, seconded by Councilor Cepeda Freitas, to table Bill number 17, 2022. Mr. Butler,
Yes.
Ms. Cepeda Freitas,
Yes.
Ms. Goodman Hintershitz,
Yes.
Ms. Reed,
yes,
Ms. Tyson,
C, yes,
Ms. Ventura,
Yes.
Mr. Waltman, President.
Yes.
7 yeas, no nays.
All right, the next item on our agenda is, that's it for ordinances for final passage. I'm going to ask Councilwoman Marcia Goodman Hintershitz to read onto the record the introductions of new ordinances, and remember to exclude A, that is being.
Exactly.
So,
Yes, sir. Bill amending City Code, Chapter 576, Vehicles and Traffic, Section 420, Parking against the traffic flow by exempting vehicles parked in violation of this section due to weather conditions. Bill amending City Code, Chapter 576, Vehicles and Traffic, Section 503, Sundays and holidays exempted by retitling the section as hours of enforcement and Saturdays, Sundays, and holidays accepted, adding Saturday to accepted enforcement and limiting the hours of parking zone enforcement to Monday through Friday from 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. Bill amending the budget by allocating $134,000 for the City Climate Corps program. Bill amending the city fund 47 ARP by allocating $150,000 for consulting expenses. Bill amending Personnel Code 70-701 salary administration by increasing the salary ranges as follows. Number 3, Chief of Police. The Chief of Police for the City of Reading shall be compensated at an annual salary of no less than $80,000 and no more than $135,000. 7, Community Development Director. The Director of the Department of Community and Economic Development for the City of Reading shall be compensated at a salary no less than $75,000 and no more than $120,000. Bill authorizing the installation of an all-way stop sign at the intersection of Buttonwood and North Second Street in accordance with City Code Section 576-213. Just wait 1 second here. Okay, bill authorizing the installation of an all-way stop sign at the intersection of North 13th and Perry Streets in accordance with City Code Section 576-213.
All right, thank you, Marcia, for reading all that. It saves me some voice, and we get everything onto the record for consideration in our next regular meeting in about 2 weeks. The next item on our agenda are 3 resolutions for appointments, unless anybody's opposed to me reading them all together for one single vote. I'm going to move forward and do it in that manner. The first resolution is appointing Beatrice Gonzalez to the Youth Commission representing Council District 2. The next resolution is appointing William Dorward to the Equal Business Opportunity Board. And the final resolution is appointing Charles Jones as an alternate to the Zoning Hearing Board. Is there a motion for all 3 of those resolutions, please?
So moved.
Second.
All right, it's been properly moved and seconded. Any comments from starting off with the nominations committee? Anyone? Johanny?
I just want to congratulate all new appointees. I know that when we went through the interviewing process, we had great energy, great enthusiasm, and we always appreciate the willingness of our committee members to serve. I know Mr. Dorward specifically, had an abundance of this just high energy and commitment and dedication. So I think we always have this gratitude, and we feel so fulfilled in our duties as council when we interview people that just have this care for our city and our community and commit their time selflessly. So thank you, and congratulations to all the appointees.
Thank you, Johanny. Marcia, did you have a comment?
Yeah, with each of them. First of all, with Beatrice Gonzalez, she is going to be an excellent and mature addition to the Youth Commission. I'm proud that she comes from District 2, and I think that she's ready to learn as she gets on board. And so I want to congratulate her for putting forward to community service. With William, he is the only person that's applied at this point for this newly formed Equal Business Opportunity Board. So I think it's really important. So he has so much energy and so many good ideas that we get other appointees, or at least people that are putting in their applications for this board, so we can get fully move forward. So working with the mayor's office, I think for us, it should be a priority to get this board up and running. And Charlie Jones, we all know he has a long history working with the city, has expertise. He is an alternate to the zoning board, but I think it's important to fill those alternate positions too.
All right, any additional comments, anyone? Yeah, I just want to extend our appreciation to all these boards, commissioners, authority members, as we always do. Just like the redistricting commission we got to hear from earlier this evening, just a lot of hard work goes into, many of these authorities and commissions, and a lot of it's quietly done in the background. We want to thank the council staff for the ongoing support that they bring to those teams, and as well to Johanny and Marcia for continuing to serve as our nominations committee. In case there's ever a tie that will bring an issue to the body of the whole. But so far, there's been pretty good cooperation from what I can see. So That's good. No, really do appreciate that work because that's a lot of work, taking the time to interview these guys and they're coming in on a Monday, a little before our regular Monday meetings once a month to do that. So that's important. So with that in mind, go ahead, Johanny, and then Marcia.
I just wanted to say, I think Councilman Butler said his schedule might be opening up, and I think he recommended or alluded to wanting to join us.
Oh, good.
Oh, good.
Ooh,
Was that true, Wes?
Yes, that is indeed true. If I can please join the nominations committee, that'd be great.
That's fabulous.
Well, let's get a resolution on the table, Linda, for our next meeting. We'll formalize it. How's that?
all right.
Great. Thanks,
Great.
Wes.
And I also wanted to give a special thanks to Michelle Smith for all the work that she and Bee do behind the scenes to keep this process moving ahead flawlessly. We have indeed interviewed, but all these interviews wouldn't be set up, all the candidates vetted if it wasn't the good work being done by those two staff persons.
Sure.
So thank you very much. I know Michelle's on the phone, and pass that on to Bee too.
Yep. All right. If there are no other, thank you again. If there are no other comments, Linda, can we have a roll call, please?
A motion was made by Counselor Cepeda Freitas, seconded by Counselor Goodman Hendershitz to adopt resolutions 51 through 53, 2022, which make appointments to the city's boards and commissions. Cepeda Freitas,
Yes.
Ms. Goodman Hendershitz,
Yes.
Ms. Reed,
Yes.
Ms. Tyson,
Yes.
Ms. Ventura,
Yes.
Mr. Butler,
Yes.
Mr. Waltman, President.
Yes.
7 yeas, no nays.
Okay, council, that's the end of our regularly scheduled business. We're on to our final section of the meeting. Any council comments that might be pressing this evening? The floor is open. Does anybody have anything they need to share at this time? Johanny?
Yeah, so I first want to thank the speakers for bringing forward their concerns. I know that collectively we'll get some solutions on the table and resolve some of these ongoing issues. Again, thank you once again for the pastor for sharing. And I'm hoping that those that were listening or tuning in understand that there's help and there's hope for those that are seeking it. And I also want to commend and applaud our community. Like I've been saying since my arrival to the city of Reading, we're always at potential. We have an abundance of talent locally. So another congratulations to Ms. Ashley Giddens. And there are more to come because there are some other folks in our community who are writing books, becoming authors, becoming best time sellers. So stay tuned. I mean, you can find them out on Facebook, but I want to make sure we bring them forth and recognize them at our city council meetings. Also, I want to give a shout out to Mr. Eric Rodriguez, owner of Mike and Joe's over in Glenside in Donna's district. Eric does a phenomenal job. First, in his craft and his talent as a barber, but he's such a great mentor also to young people coming up in the industry. And he always puts on these phenomenal barbering expos for the city, and he gathers, oh my gosh, barbers come from like all over the tri-state area. They come from even Puerto Rico. And yesterday I was able to witness 2 female barbers winning awards in their categories. There was also a young person, a high school student, 11th grade, who won the category of the apprenticeship. So Eric Rodriguez and your family and your team, Mike and Joe's, congratulations to such a successful event. I know our community always looks forward to these venues that you put on. And, again, we have amazing beings in our community, and I want us to continue showcasing them, bringing them to the table so that we can, continue to make our city more vibrant. So thank you. And again, a reminder for Ashley Giddens' book signing is going to take place at the Reading High School at their gym on Sunday, March 6th from 1 to 4. And the book is called My Blueprint to Become a Queen of the Castle. Have a good week, everyone.
All right, thank you, Johanny. I don't know if it was Donna next. Yep.
And just to dovetail on what Johanny said, Mike and Joe's this year marks the 60th anniversary of that barbershop, which has been a standard and an institution here in Glenside. So Johanny, I hope you'll join me when we're back in council chambers to bring Aaron in, because I'd like to have him come in and honor him in person. And maybe that'll be our first in-person event to have him come in. I'm hopeful he'll be able to break away from the shop and come in and join us. So I look forward to honoring him and being in touch with him and seeing if we can work that out.
All right, additional comments, anyone? Marcia?
Yes, and I wanted to thank the mayor's office and my fellow council mates, Wesley Butler and Donna Reed, for joining us with meeting the Black inventors that came to Reading. I can't tell you what a phenomenal experience that was. Those individuals are world renowned as far as their talents go, and doing things. I can't even remember all the inventions. Easy bake oven sticks to my mind because I think Donna shakes her head. We had those as little girls.
I did. That's why I never learned how to cook.
Oh, okay. And we also had the Viewmasters. One of our tour guides, Santo Marabella, actually brought his original Viewmaster that this individual had invented. So that was really touching. These big squirt guns, I can't remember what you call them, but it just went on and on. And what I think was such a prize was that these youth then got to meet, there were youth from the Reading School District got to meet these inventors today at Albright College. So we had about 100 youth from our city get to learn from them. And I can't tell you, it's so important to keep giving these opportunities to our youth and be able to share with them what we know. I also learned a little bit about the city that I didn't know, like the film office down on Canal Street or the film studios down on Canal Street. Got to visit the new barbershop at 3rd and Court Streets. So just all these little different nuggets of joy that we have in the city that I got to experience during that tour. So a good event for all. And we have to keep the synergy going so we have more of those opportunities. I don't know whether Wes, Donna, whether you want to add any comments. You were both there for parts of the event.
Wes, go ahead and then I'll.
All right. I just want to give a shout out to my father, Winston Butler, who helped put that together. He has so many ideas, and as my mother was saying to him this morning, one of those ideas finally came to fruition. So I just wanted to shout him out, and like Marcia said, it was a great event, and I love meeting the vendors that were there, and they had some pretty interesting inventions. So you guys should look into it. Thank you.
And it was a joy to welcome those esteemed folks to City Hall and talk a little bit about our beautiful hall and the council chambers. They were in there, and we were able to share some history, and it was just really incredible to be in the presence of people that have that kind of knowledge and have changed the world in their own ways. And stunning that they were here in Reading and that we were able to spend some time and that our youth were able to spend time. It's just sort of hard to put into words just how important that is, to see the inspiration of those folks. And of course, tonight was another event. I was thinking we might get done early enough to go over there, but we were doing the city's business. But I'm sure tonight's event was equally wonderful as everything precursing.
And I think to add to that, there was such synergy when I walked into the DoubleTree with an enormous, I don't even know what the performance was over at the arena, but it was incredible, the number of people that were attending that. And it keeps saying to me that we have to keep this energy going with the work we have to do as counselors to keep people wanting to come into downtown Reading, not to remove any barriers that there may be, and to be able to just make our city as welcoming as possible. And Wesley, it was good. Yes, I did get to ride with your father throughout the trip, and he was a wonderful ambassador to the city. So I hope to hear more about how today went and be able to just say, let's continue to build the opportunities to bring people into our city and to let it shine.
And And I
Yep.
think to add to that, it's important for all of us as elected officials to be ambassadors for the city. Wes, your dad, and all the folks who in the school district, the importance of them being ambassadors for our city. There's so much good here, and we need to be on the front ends and the front lines of reinforcing that by showing up, by being there, by interacting with our residents as well as the visitors who come here. So the world is opening up. Let's open ourselves up to it as well.
Johanny, did you have a comment? Yep.
I just wanted to add a few more things. First, I appreciate our team and I thank each and every one of you for always going above and beyond, also to serve and to participate and partake. And I like how we kind of like have each other's back and we show up for one another when needed. So I wanted to say thank you. And also wanted to thank the administration for putting together and hosting the Dominican Independence flag raising yesterday. A special thank you to Dolores Martinez, Christian Crespo, and to our auditor, Maria Rodriguez, and even to Chico from Public Works, right, for assisting with the actual flag raising. And again, we have such a beautiful community and everyone plays a part. And I'm just thankful for where we are today and where we're headed. Oh, Wesley, thank you also for your words, right? He spoke in Spanish yesterday.
Oh, very good.
Very few words, but nonetheless, it was special what he had to say. So thank you.
You got a lot more in than I would have gotten. So no, on a serious note, that's right. There's a lot of ambassadors for the city, Mr. Butler, even Mrs. Giddens, in her presentation to the public and everything else. And I'm always grateful as council president. I can't make it to, I can barely make it to the most critical events, and they're all critical, which is, it's even hard to say that. And it's just good to have a body that's always out there demonstrating leadership, being present in the community. My time's limited. I can only do so much. I have, like some of you, I have a very busy full-time job, other obligations with grandchildren, and et cetera, et cetera. So, all right. Are there any additional comments before we go through the meeting schedule? All right. If not, real quickly, our meeting schedule is as follows. Monday, March 7th, we have the Nominations and Appointments Committee at 4 o'clock. We have Committee of the Whole at 5 o'clock. And on Monday, March 14th, we have the Committee of Whole at 5 p.m., followed by the regular meeting at 7 p.m. And on Tuesday, March 15th, we have the ARPA update at 5 p.m. If there is no additional order of business this evening, I just simply need a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
All right, we are adjourned. Everyone have a great evening and be safe.
Good night.
Good night, everyone.
Good night to our 8th council member.
Yeah, that's right.
So cute.
All right, bye.